Blessings, dear community. It is so good to see you, so good to be with you on this evening. I am just still getting a little bit set up here in the old interwebs land. I'm going to head on over to Instagram and go live. Blessings, blessings, and welcome, everyone. It is such a gift to be here with this community every single day. I'm so grateful for all the things, all the ways that we all exchange on so many beautiful different levels and in so many different ways. There's so much information, there's so much good juicy wealth of knowledge and divine inheritance for all of us to gift and to be gifted in this amazing land that we share. We share this internet land, right? We share this Instagram land, we share this Facebook world, and this whole social media grid, right? We are here, and in so many ways it belongs to us, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. Thank you for hopping on Instagram already. I'm Tuesday May Thomas. Every week I go live on Thursday mornings. I have been going live since 2018 with my show 4D Trinity. And this is an extension. Now, these Tuesday evenings have started. We're probably in the third or fourth week now of doing these guided Bija mantra chakra meditations. And it's just fully guided, and it feels like an extension of the 4D Trinity that I do on Thursday mornings. And it's really to help support and create a medium and a platform through which we can all get to know who we are individually on a deeper level, to get to understand and to know who we are on a deeper root level, on an energetic level, and then beyond that energy to true source, to that true wealth of divinity that is pure and that is love and only love, that space that is beyond the matrix. That's where we go when we meditate. That's where we tap when we pray. That's what we tap into, and what is allowed then to tap back into us when we create the correct conditions within our body, within our mind to receive it. And of course, our meditations, our chanting, our prayer, our pranayamas, our breathing exercises, our affirmations, anything that helps to create that beautiful ladder of ascension for your body mind vehicle, for your body mind continuum to be plugged in to that which is within the matrix, but that which connects you to that which is beyond the matrix, the true source of all. The love, the 0 point, the singularity that is not the singularity of the AI world coming into being, but the singularity of the one heart, of the one knowing. And so thank you everyone for joining me here on this beautiful evening. It is such a gift to share with you. So we are going to go through the chakras. We are going to get into our meditation and our chanting, and we'll go through that in a little bit. And I just want to share with you that the topic that we're going to talk about tonight, a little bit heading into this, is regarding the light body and the tar body. Now, we can think about the tar body as being the toxic twin to the light body. It is a part of the energy body continuum that gathers all of the toxic energies that have roots in fear thinking, in fear thoughts, in all the trauma that is unresolved that you still carry with you, that we carry with us. It is all the toxins that are created in the body and in the mind from those aspects that we allow to be with us, to be on board with us as we move from day to day through our lives. Now, it's not only the unresolved trauma, the pain, the fear, the shame, every experience you've ever had. If you believe in past lives, it's all the unresolved issues from past lives that you've ever had that still walk with you now. It's everything that we carry that is a burden. It is everything that we carry that keeps us in fear and that holds us back from really being our true self, from really being in our true power and authority. And what is that? That is always you being rooted in love. Love has no opposite, right? In the paradigm of the grid matrix, as I teach it, the grid matrix is the binary system of ones and zeros. It is rooted in fear versus love. right? So we toggle when we're in the world, we toggle between fear and love. The mind is always, should I choose this? Should I choose that? Should I go towards those triggers that I have that are rooted in those unhealed parts of me and react and respond in the world from those parts of myself? Or do I go through that? Do I go to the root and to the heart, to the space of love, and allow that love to channel through me, through my thoughts, through my actions, through my words, and give that love the right of way to see clearly through me and then speak through me, use my voice, use my hands, use my body, use this vehicle as it will. And of course, it doesn't mean that you're not there, right? You're always a part of that. And in fact, what you'll understand as you, and perhaps you already know this, is as you go deeper into your spiritual practices, there's actually more of you there. There's more of you there in the not in the non of you being there, if that makes sense. So the less of you that's there, the more of you's there, if you get what I mean. The less of you that you think you are, that you've been told you are by the world, the stories that you've been told, especially those that don't resonate, those that are not in resonance with lifting you into your highest frequency, right? All of those fear-based, limiting, scarcity-based notions from your ancestors, the cultures, the traditions, all of that stuff. When we allow that to rule and to make decisions on behalf of us, then we are living within that paradigm of the binary system of the matrix. And what I teach and what all of the grid mind science teachings point to are creating the correct conditions to bridge heaven on earth through the mind body vehicle. And we do that by getting really clear in aligning the mind, the body, and the emotions with spirit. Spirit is God, is love, is source, is that oneness, is the heart, is the torus field, pulsations that is beyond and above anything that this matrix can seemingly place in front of us in this world. So thank you. I think thank you so much, everyone, for saying hi and giving a wave at Instagram land. And I believe Skylark, hey sister, she's back. Thank you for hopping on YouTube as well. So we're having a little talk here about the tar body. The tar body, again, it is the, see, I emailed some stuff to myself. Okay, it hasn't come through yet. The tar body itself is the toxic twin of the light body. So it's the part of us, if you imagine the little angel on your shoulder and the little devil on your shoulder, right? The angel on your shoulder is like the Jiminy Cricket. It's always guiding you to the path that is of the highest good, that is really going to serve you being the true authentic you, that is always going to serve you exploring that, embodying that, even if it feels like there's challenges, even if it feels that there could be some excitement sort of hidden as fear in that domain. Whereas we can call it the little devil on the shoulder, or the tar body really is the part of us that pushes us to respond and react from the place of fear, from those old unresolved issues. And a lot of it has to do with being a victim. A lot of it has to do with unresolved trauma in the DNA, in the cellular memory that we walk with. And so as we do our chants, again, as we meditate, as we do any and all spiritual alchemical practices that bring us that clarity of unity consciousness, those little windows to the soul, the little windows, the portals of the chakras that belong to that energy body continuum, those get cleaned. So we imagine that over our lifetime, as we gather painful experiences, if you imagine the timeline of your life from when you were born to this point now, and every single experience that you've had that has really set you out of your center, where that has really marked you, whether it's been a life crisis, a health issue, being bullied as a child, having several, ex-husbands or wives with unresolved issues, whatever it might be, being beaten as a child, having alcoholic families, whatever it might be, if there's unhealed, unforgiven frequencies within you, and you're still carrying that vibration, that's going to determine how you perceive your environment around you. That's going to help in determining that you see through those lenses, through the portals of your energy body in a muddied way, right? The glass, the clarity of the glass, the clarity of the seeing glass of those portals will not be clear. And so the ability of your chakras to be at their full voltage, to be embodied by you in their full power and authority, that being rooted with the clarity of love, being able to see through the third eye, through the veils of illusion that really that's all that fear is. Everything that is abstract in that way, that is limiting us, is not real. Yet it's very, very real until we've resolved those issues, right? All of those things can be very, very real to us. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form demeaning those experiences. If you read my book, The Reiki Apprentice, I've been there. We all have our set of circumstances. We've all had, or we do have, these issues or these experiences in our life where we get to face the shadow down. And I've said this many times that it's the stuff that all of the movies are made of, right? It's the light versus the dark. It's the Star Wars movie. It's the Indiana Jones movie. It's every movie you can think of. It's always light versus dark. And those qualities are within us. And I'm not talking about yin yang. I'm talking about specifically, I'm talking about love versus fear. And as we learn to give love the right of way and practice our spiritual willpower, that being your ability to choose love over fear, choose love over those knee-jerk reactions where you're not pausing and where you're not even conscious, but where you're just regurgitating the same responses that are loomed in the matrix as a part of your memory, right? And what happens is when we start to heal those parts of our past, is those parts of the matrix, those timelines are given the correct conditions to dissolve appropriately and accordingly, so that we no longer feel or have those actions that respond in that way as if we're a puppet on a string, like we're Pinocchio, right? All Pinocchio is a puppet on the strings, experiencing the strings that he is connected to and responding from those strings of connection. Yet when those strings are released, when we cut those ties that have once bound us, from us continuing to respond and react to life in the same ways, then we begin to enter the domain of sovereignty, of freedom. And really, what is that? That is your peace. That is your peace of mind. And that's what I call, that's the heaven on earth. You know, so many students and so many people I've worked with over the years, that's the number one thing. It's like if you can't live with yourself and be in a peaceful mind state on a day-to-day basis, well, that's the root, right? That's the root of your quality of life. And that's also the root of, if we cannot be present and conscious from our hearts, intend to work through these aspects in our lives that are requiring healing, well, that's going to limit our ability to ascend, to have the experience of that freedom, because that's all ascension is it's bye-bye matrix. One foot in it, right? We learn to master the matrix. It's not really exiting the matrix. I mean, you can do that if you'd like, but it's mastering the matrix by mastering yourself. Right? Grid mind science. It is the science of self-healing, really. And that's the alchemist. That's you in the lab of yourself, really facing your own demons down, facing down your own tar body. Because what happens is over time, as we do our practices, right? We activate the light body, the chakras begin to activate, we begin to harmonize and create homeostasis in the body mind. We begin to change our frequency and our vibration. Yet if we do not consider those practices, if we don't start embodying and participating in ways that create those healings or create even the correct conditions for those healings to happen, is what happens is the tar body then becomes lodged in. So you can imagine that it begins, what I like to say, I don't have my clear quartz, it's on the altar over there. So I'm going to use the small lithium, this is a small lithium amethyst quartz. But last week I was talking about how the energy body, right? We think about, imagine that this was much, much longer than this, but that there's this clear tube, the crystalline tube, or sushumna, in some ancient Buddhist and Vedic texts, that houses the spine and it houses the chakras. And what happens is that the crystalline tube breathes prana, breathes life force in through the top and through the bottom of this tube. And remember, life force is that which is rooted in love, in the 0 point, that is beyond the matrix. And so what happens is that is our energy lung. It is like the lungs in our body that we breathe in and we breathe out, oxygen for the stabilization and the health and well-being of the physical body. And the energy body, the energy lung of the energy body, this crystalline tube that houses the spine and the chakras, this breathes in that prana life force, that ki, that chi. And what happens though is as we continue on a path of not resolving, of unforgiving, of holding grievances, of playing a victim, of whatever all the stories are that we have, is that crystalline tube then begins to gather tar like a substance. It begins to, that the essence of your unresolved are unresolved issues, emotions, feelings, judgments, fears, rage, anger, jealousy, pettiness, judgment, just all that, the polarized stuff begins to create a film that you can imagine as tar like sticky tar, and it begins to coat the inside of this tube that houses the spine. And so what happens is over time, if we walk with a lot of unhealed and unresolved stuff, the energy lung of our energy body begins to have a more and more difficult time taking life force in, serving all of the energy body components, which we're just focusing right now on the chakras. That energy lung takes in life force prana, and it feeds and it nourishes it through the portals of the chakras. And then from there, the chakras can then distribute that life force through the physical aspects of the body, through the glands and through the organs, which affect our nervous system, our headspace, how our body functions, our energy levels, our vitality, and all that. So again, though, if we walk with a lot of unresolved stuff and that tar begins to gather in that tube, then our ability to take life force in becomes challenged. And not only that, is if we really walk for a long, long time, and you might think about yourself at certain points of your life where you felt like this, or maybe you might think of others, and it's not to judge, but it's just to consider that paradigm, that if there have been those experiences where you can think of like, oh yeah, if you've gathered a lot of that grief, a lot of that fear, a lot of that pain, a lot of that anger, and it's not worked out, what happens is that tar then begins to seep out through the nadis. We have channels, you think of meridians. If you know the nadis, there are all the channels through the body. It's said that there's at least 72,000 of them through the body that distribute prana, life force energy, through our energy system, the matrix of our energy body, the body that we don't generally see in this third dimension, in the 3D. But that tar then can become clogged up. I don't know if you remember, there's this old commercial from a long time ago where they would have easy oven off, this spray that was actually pretty toxic itself. But the lady would open the oven door and it would be all this gunged up, caked in, baked in stuff in the oven. And she'd say, oh, I need easy off. And she'd put the oven glove on and she'd spray the easy off, and then all the tar stuff would come off. And it's like that. The tar gets caked in, baked into that tube, and then it begins to seep out into all the channels. And then you feel all gunked up, right? And you feel energetically, really what's happening is you're energetically constipated. That's really what's happening when we get tarred up. And the tar body is what's actually given the driver's seat. But all we have to do is make one small choice over and over again to feed the light body versus feeding the tar body, by using our spiritual will, choosing love over and over and over again through our thoughts, our words, our actions, and our deeds, first and foremost towards ourselves, and then in how we extend and sharing our thoughts, actions, words, and deeds rooted in love with others, right? That's how we begin to clear the channels. That's how we begin to create space for that prana, that life force energy, that love to come in and give it the right of way. Because what happens is that it begins as this layer of tar within the channels. And then eventually over time, if it's really not looked at and really not taken care of, is it actually becomes a layer in the aura. And it's this dark substance that creates a film in the aura. And it can be very thin or it can be very thick. And again, the deeper the tars, the deeper the chakras, then these beautiful portals that we get to see the rainbow colors and ultimately the white light in the world, where we get to bridge heaven on earth, see with the third eye and the heart chakra awakened. That begins activated when we allow in the prana, the love, the life force. But it is not activated when that tar is allowed to reside and to get crusty and funky, and the spinning wheels of your chakras then are challenged, right? Because there's a lot of stuff we got to work on. So don't feel bad though if you feel kind of gunked up, if you feel energetically constipated, because we all go through cycles of this. We all go through cycles of this, and this is why we practice. This is why we practice our meditations. This is why we chant. This is why we pray. This is why we, whatever it is for you, that is that prayer, that is that meditation that brings you back to zero, back to the one, back to the unity, back to love. That's what keeps us in the pocket of tuning in to those frequencies. But we have to do it for ourselves. We get to do it for ourselves. And we get to do it for ourselves as a constant, right? This mindfulness practice, these meditation practices, all this stuff is a constant practice. It becomes a living meditation because you begin to realize. You think about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. We are made of all of these atoms that we constantly don't know. In one moment, we might feel good, we might feel happy, we might feel great. And the next moment, we might be totally pissed off or freaked out, or someone will cross us the wrong way. Thanks for the love on Instagram. Thank you for giving a wave, everyone. I'm so grateful. But it's like we can switch, we can flip like that, because this is the binary system. This is the 3D grid matrix. It's the dance of opposites. And what we do with our grid mind science teachings is we learn the science of self-mastery. We learn the science of bridging heaven on earth. We learn the science of alchemating our tar, alchemating our fear, so that fear is dissolved, because love is always here. Love is the backdrop of creation. Love, the 0 point of all, is always here. Yet the matrix, the mind, is what lays on top of it. But we get to learn to master the mind, become a master of our time and space. Love is in the matrix, right? Remember, it's the binary, it's the love and fear. So we learn to seek out the love that is already here, and that creates the mapping that gets us beyond the matrix into that 4D heaven on earth realization, the Christ center, the heart center, the third eye that sees beyond the veils of illusion of the world, gets us back to love and creates the correct conditions to root us in that love, in the here and the now, because now is where it's all happening. And often the tars are rooted in the past. And the past is just memory. And when we're rerunning the fears, and I know it's easy to say, and believe me, it takes work, right? If you've had issues and stuff over your life, you got to work your shit out, right? It takes work. You have to consciously, show up and bring those parts of yourself that are unconscious into a conscious alignment with your higher self, with that voice for God, with the Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder, with letting love into you, with saying yes to your true authentic self. Okay, so that's what's really important in this. So we're going to talk now about the chakras, and if there are any questions, if you have any comments, I will go back at the very end and review them. But we're going to get into now our chakra land. Okay, so this person here, every week we use this little chart just to have a look and to see. So for some of us, we're very familiar. Maybe we've done this practice before. We do it regularly. But just as a little set point here, I use the traditional 7 chakras, and I know there's many teachers that teach, we can go up to 35 chakras, 13 chakras, 50 million chakras. It's like the dimensions. There's as many dimensions as you want there to be, right? As you can imagine. Yet where I'm at and what I teach is that bringing it back in, reeling it back in, if we learn self-mastery in the 3D, by learning self-mastery of the traditional aspects of the energy body, and learning self-mastery of this body-mind continuum in the 3D, then no matter what dimension you find yourself in or you travel to, you will have access to your ability to attain that self-mastery no matter where, because you are multidimensional. Yet we are 3D humans in this experience at this time. Well, I'm saying we, I don't know really what you identify as, but I'm going to just assume that perhaps we're playing the role of a human being on this planet together at this time. Right? And again, though, we accumulate all the experiences, and some experiences are fantastic, but isn't it funny that a lot of the times those amazing, beautiful, blissed out, fucking just outrageous experiences, yes, we remember some of them, but often where there's a lot of unresolved healing, those experiences are the ones we remember most. And those are the experiences that walk with us everywhere we go. I did a painting years ago called The Self, where it's like 7 or 8 wreaths, just lines of white paint on a gold background. And the tallest wreath in the middle represents the self. And then there's these smaller wreaths walking with the self on either side. And the smaller wreaths represent all the parts of ourselves that we walk with as a constant, are holding grudges, that are holding unforgiveness, that are holding judgment, that are holding pain and fear. Yet when we dissolve that, when we allow and we work and we move towards creating the correct conditions for that healing to happen, all of those seeming separate parts of self, they collapse, they dissolve. And all those timelines then are resumed into the now. And that is your power. Because you are multidimensional, all of those unhealed parts of yourself are existing in these different dimensions of yourself. And so this is why we feel fragmented. We feel scattered in a lot of ways. We don't feel in our full power, in our full strength when we are walking with a lot of unhealed stuff. And even if it's just mental loops that we know we get to work on being a master of, right? To bring the mind into that one space means you're bringing all of your minds through all time, space, and dimensions into the now from this point of the 3D. And that's your full power, because it's like, whoop, it's like gathering all of those parts of self, collapsing everything in the name of love. We've been used to collapsing, right? The wave function in the name of all the things that we're afraid of in the matrix, through all of our fears and our memories. And we keep looking back and we keep looking forward. We cast them into the future and we keep repeating. It's just one big memory cycle. Yet what we're being invited to do is to begin to learn how to collapse the wave function in the name of love over and over and over again. And that takes spiritual will power. It's a muscle. We all have it. And you being here tonight is exercising it. So blessings. Blessings and thank you. I'm going to say a short word before we start into our chanting. As you know, or maybe you don't know, and thank you everyone for following everywhere at Grid Mind Science, on Facebook, on Twitter, at Instagram, my page, Grid Mind Science. I'm so grateful for all of the followers there. I'm going to be giving a free lecture at the Conscious Life Expo on February 9th. It's at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles. It's a big deal. I'm so excited, stepping into my niche with other amazing authors and speakers in all sorts of realms from science and spirituality. And I'll be having a booth there all weekend long with my grid installation set up, and we can surf the grid. I'm in the International Ballroom, booth 453. And so come along and check me out. My link is in the bio at Instagram. So again, thank you so much for being here tonight. Okay, we're going to start from the root chakra and we're going to work our way up. And this meditation is about breathing color, and it's about making sound. Don't worry if the sounds that come out of you, if your voice crackles, if you're not in the same key as I'm chanting in, you don't have to know how to sing to chant. It's just about letting your body make sounds. And even now I feel I feel a little in my throat. I do have some water here. I'll take a sip in a moment. But don't let yourself be inhibited if you feel like you need to clear your throat or cough. Like, this is your energy body tuning up. It's clearing itself up, right? It's like when you tune a guitar, not all the strings are going to be in tune every time you pick it up. You need to tune it up a little bit to get everything in harmony. And that's what we're doing. The bijas are the seed sounds that ignite the pure potential of each energy center. These seed sounds activate and awaken the fullest potential that your chakras are ready to activate to at this time in space. Now, I don't have the chart up here with me, but I'm going to tell you right now. So if you have a pen and a paper, if you want to grab one, but don't worry, because I will be calling them out as we go. But there's a sound, so the Bija mantra for each chakra, and the sound that resonates with the root is LAM, L-A-M, as in Mary, M. The sound for the second chakra is VAM, V-A-M. For the third, it's RAM, R-A-M. For the heart, it's YAM, Y-A-M. For the throat, HAM, H-A-M. For the third eye, it's a K-S-H-A-M, Ka, Sham. And for for the crown, it's Om, O-M, or A-U-M, Om, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe color in for each chakra and we're going to chant the sound for each center. And this is going to activate the energy in that center, and it's going to help to clear out what you are ready to be cleared out, right? There's no force of a will. This energy practice works with you from where you're at, where you're ready to go at. It's going to raise your frequency, it's going to raise your vibration, and it's going to allow you to see with greater clarity in this world. In this world, this 3D, we are made of all of these colors, and so is the landscape of this plane. And the clearer that our chakras are able to function and activate, the greater our health, our immunity, our well-being, but also our ability to see through the third eye, to see through the heart. And what does that mean? That just means that we are greater equipped to see love, no matter what the world is showing us, right? I like that that example of Mr. Rogers, not the Tom Hanks movie, but the original one, the autobiography kind of a movie they made on him a while ago, and where he said that as a child, there was a great violence that broke out on his neighborhood block. And he was a young kid and he was like, Mama, Mama, look, look. And he was freaking out. And the mom just said, look for the helpers, look for the helpers. There's always love. No matter what's going on, there's always love. And why is there always love? Because you choose to see it. That is the metaphysics of how we bridge heaven on earth. It's individual, it's interdimensional, yet it is unification at the same time, because it is the truth. Love is the truth. That's what I teach. It is beyond what I believe, because I know it is the truth, and I walk with that truth. Yet we are the individual entities, we are the individual beings that get to give it the right of way or not, right? Do we feed the light body by saying yes to love, or do we feed the tar body by saying yes to fear, to the old triggers and emotions? We can always pause and just stay silent or choose again in the name of light. So we're going to go through each chakra. We're going to chant the sound, the Bija mantra for each chakra 3 times for most of them. But for the heart center, we're going to chant 4 times. And for the third eye, we're going to chant it 4 times as well. So we're going to do a little dress rehearsal. So imagine we're starting here at the root. We're going to breathe in, and we'll get into the proper mode here shortly to really settle into meditation. This is just the dress rehearsal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite us to breathe red in to the root chakra, and we're going to chant the sound lam. And we're going to do 3 separate breaths with 3 separate times breathing the color in, with 3 separate distinct lam, right? We're going to chant the sound lam. So I'm going to invite you to really extend the first letter of each bija. So for instance, if the root chakra is lam, let's do the dress rehearsal. So let's breathe red into the root for lam. Lam. So do that with me. Let's do it one more time. Breathing red into the root for lam. Now really see the color. Breathe it in. Breathe it down. Lam. Beautiful. And what you're really going to feel is you're going to feel your brain, your skull, your skeletal system, your muscles, your bones, your organs vibrate. And this is part of the healing. You're bringing the frequency of the seed sound into your body, into your physical 3D aspect of self. And that's what's going to generate the ripple effect through your energetic continuum. So we're going to do that all the way up. And then let's just do the little dress rehearsal for the third eye, because it is a little different. It's a hard sound K followed by sham. So it sounds like ka, sham, ka. Okay, so let's do the dress rehearsal for that. The color is indigo. So imagine, let's breathe indigo into the third eye, middle of the brain. Ka, sham. And maybe feeling that vibration through the skull. And we'll just do one for the crown. So imagine breathing violet in to the crown center. Let's breathe violet into the crown for Om. Breathing in. Om. Beautiful. I know for me, I would get really heady with that Om. I really feel that vibrating those endocrine glands in the brain. Okay. All right. So I'm going to set up our timer, because what we do is we go through it And then at the very end, we sit for 5 minutes in silence. And I might give you a little word during that silence, not too much. And then at the end, I'll just go through if there's any comments or questions. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead, get settled in. I'm going to have a sip of water, get comfortable. And let's close the eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're going to do 2 more, breathing in and breathing out. And 1 more. Now imagine connecting with your higher self, whatever that feels like or looks like for you. And next, imagine we're all entering a rose quartz crystalline cave. And it is within this cave that we will do our work together tonight. Now bring your awareness to your spine. And at the very base of your spine, imagine an orb of red light. We're going to breathe red into that orb of light at the base of your spine for the sound of lamb. Breathing red in. Breathing red into the base of the spine. And 1 more. Breathe red into the base of the spine for lamb. Now just take a breath in and out. And bring your awareness up to the 2nd chakra, just a few inches below your navel. The color here is a beautiful bright orange. The sound is VAM, V-A-M, and really let let that sound travel up and down through your skeletal system. Breathing orange in to the 2nd chakra for VAM, breathing in. Breathing orange for VAM. One more. Breathing orange in for VAM. Now take a breath. And begin to move your awareness above the navel to the center of your being, to the solar plexus, just below the rib cage. The color here is a beautiful bright golden yellow, and the sound is RAM, R-A-M, 3 times. Let's breathe yellow into your center for RAM. Breathing in. And breathing gold into your center for REM. Now take another breath in and out. And maybe you're beginning to feel a subtle shift in your energy. We're going to move the awareness, the center of the chest, to the heart chakra. There's two colors that resonate here. You might think of a deep emerald green, a beautiful rose pink. You might even breathe them both in at the same time. The sound is yam, Y-A-M, and really let your teeth come together for the yee sound. Even let your sides of the mouth curl up and smile a little as you set the tone with that Y sound for yam. Rose pink and green, breathing color into the heart for yam. Yam. Breathing into the heart for yam. Yam. Rose, pink, or green, breathing color into the heart for yam. Yam. And one more, breathing into the heart. Yam. Take a breath in and out. And we'll move the awareness up to the throat center. Colors here are a blue sky, maybe a turquoise blue, and the sound is ham, H-A-M. Breathing blue into the throat for ham. Ham. Breathing into the throat for ham. Ham. Breathing blue into the throat for ham. Ham. And again, take a breath in and out. Moving the awareness to the third eye. You can think about the space between the center of the forehead, between the eyebrows, or maybe right in the center of the brain. The color here is indigo, nice, beautiful, deep purple sky night color. And the sound here is that hard K followed by sham. Ka, sham. Breathing indigo into the third eye for kasham. Ka, sham. Three more. Breathing indigo in for kasham. Ka, sham. Breathing in. Ka, Sham. And one more. Breathing indigo into the third eye for Kasham. Ka. Sham. Take a breath in and out. And now move your awareness to the top of the head, to the crown chakra. The general color here is violet, any shade of violet. But the other colors that resonate can be a shimmering gold or maybe an iridescent violet white. The sound is Om. Breathing violet to the top of the head for Om. Breathing violet to the crown for Om. Om. And one more, breathing into the crown for Om. Om. Beautiful. Now take another breath in and breath out. We're going to sit for 5 minutes. So just relax. Make any adjustments to your seat so you're comfortable. And if you wish to explore, keeping the eyelids gently closed, you can softly bring your gaze towards the center of the forehead with the eyes. No force, just gently floating them up and holding them there. You can also bring the tip of the tongue to the palate, to the roof of the mouth. There's a little mound towards the middle or the back part of the top of the mouth. And just gently touching the tongue there while keeping the eyes lifted. And if that's too much, you just relax your eyes and your tongue and you breathe and relax. Feel this resonance, this energy, this activation of sound in your cells, in your atoms. Begin to bring your awareness back. Take a few deep breaths in and out. Coming back into your body, feeling peaceful, grounded, centered, and aligned. We are not the same people who started here at the beginning of this gathering. I want you to know that when two or more people gather consciously to create with love, as we are doing here, this has a beautiful, huge ripple effect throughout the entire world, throughout the entire planet. I feel it. Do you feel it? I feel the love. I feel it in my body. I feel it all around. It is so beautiful. It is so powerful. So just notice if your home, your environment, or if you're going out later, or just how the extension of that ripples out, your neighborhood. There's so many really cool studies done of when people have gathered and just meditated, not even trying to think of world peace, but just meditate, just get into that love zone, and how it has such a powerful effect on the actual environment around. War torn cities, violence has stopped. um, it's very, very powerful and very, very beautiful how it can affect. Oh, thank you for joining Venus in the First, Skylark. Okay, blessings. I'm going to just scroll back here and let's see if there's any. Thank you for all the waves, everyone here at Insta. Hey, can access this other dimensions again. So what I was sharing at the beginning is we absolutely we can access other dimensions. Yet, in my experience, the safe way to do that is by mastering this dimension first, mastering the 3D, the third dimension first, by getting to know who you are, what your energy is, your personal individual energy, and learning how to master that energy. And then once that sort of has an alignment, once you get to know who you are, what your energy feels like here, and how to master it here, then the dimensions are boundless. Again, whatever dimension you want to go to, you can. What I teach and what I offer, what all that I share is about bridging fourth dimensional consciousness, which is that Christ consciousness, the heart center, the one love, the unity consciousness of one and all. And so while you can travel wherever you go, my teaching, what I share is get good with mastering 3D, and then once you got this down, no matter where you travel, you are good to go. That's been my experience anyway. So I pray that that serves you. If not, hey, Novum Vinum, blessings, brother. Good to see you. So I hope that that serves your path. Oops, where did we go here? Soulja in the house. Oh, Will, thank you for being here. Um, plants, okay, really amazing. Plants can help to access other dimensions. Now, I think you might be talking about, I'm not sure, but plant medicine. In my experience, absolutely. Absolutely, it can. But remember, plants are a part of the earth, right? So if we're not talking synthetic substances, if we're talking plants specifically that are of the earth, the mushroom, the psilocybin family, the ayahuasca, the plants, the vines, then in my experience, I mean, I can't speak for anyone else, but in my experience, absolutely. Uh, Yet remember, all of those dimensions are within us. So, what we're really exploring are the dimensions within when we have those experiences. Ayahuasca, yeah. If you go to my YouTube channel, Grid Channel, which is accessible through my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com, there's a link, a little YouTube icon. Subscribe there, and you can type into the search bar ayahuasca. I have a few videos where I speak on it, and there's some other stuff there that you'll see that you may find of service to you. But yes, other dimensions for sure. It's all within us though. And really, it's all just one dimension, right? The multidimensionality is the fractalization of the one, right? But sometimes we got to go around a few times to really get what that means and to realize it. And no one can realize it for us, right? We get to, that's the great adventure of this amazing spiritual journey that we all share. I'm so grateful for this dear community. Blessings and thank you so much. Again, if you're in LA and you're interested in the Grid Mind Science teachings on self mastery, on ascension, on your multidimensional activation, and understanding the grid matrix and your part in it and how to master the matrix, join me for my free lecture on February 9th at the LAX Hilton at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles. Subscribe at my website, tuesdaymaythomas.com. It's the first page you'll see. You can subscribe for my monthly love letter if you want to join my community. I send out a love letter at the end or so of every month, and I'd love to be in touch with you all. And about simulated universe, what's your thoughts? You know what? This is actually going to be shutting down here in a moment because it's only running for an hour. I do have some pretty interesting posts. Go to my page at Grid Mind Science, and I think just in this last week, I've posted a few things about the simulation. But I look forward to talking on that later. And I might even do so every Thursday on Instagram Live at my main page, Tuesday May Thomas. And at YouTube, I have my live stream 4D Trinity. And I have been getting downloads to talk about the simulation and the aspects to sort of break down the language of that. So do come by and join and keep an eye out because I might just do that this Thursday. Now that you brought it up. Okay. And of course, now every time you write something, I get to put the glasses on. You're from Brazil. Well, welcome. Welcome and blessings. I love the Brazilians. Every time I hang out with the Brazilians, there's just so much love and light and so much fun. So thank you so much. Yeah, do go over to YouTube and check it out. So thank you everyone in YouTube land. Thank you everyone on Instagram land for the love. I pray as always that everything I share truly serves your path of sovereignty, of spiritual growth, right? And of ascension and of being here now, of just being cool with who you are in a body on this planet. And learning to master it, learning to embody the frequencies of love and of light. So thank you with all my love, everyone. Namaste. And thank you for all of your support, blessings, and thank you. Okay. Blessings, everyone here at YouTube land with so much love. Thank you.